No long verbose intro. If you have clicked on this video, you know exactly what's going on here. The Batman. It is finally in theaters after nearly, nearly 2 years, or just about 2 years, of delays due to the stupid virus and among other things. The Batman is finally here. Thank God for that. Also, just on a side note, my cat is in this video, not for any reason other than she is just enjoying the sun, which I had to close the curtains on, but I will open them once I'm done with this video. But, I mean, Catwoman's in the movie, so my cat's here. It's connected. The hype for this movie is legitimately insane. I remember last night, or I'm filming this Friday afternoon, I was on the Suit Up Geeks' Batman Trivia Night, and I was the only one in the room who had not seen the movie. So I literally had to do this at points, because even though they said nothing, you can't be too careful these days. Variety writers, people will just be like, hey, here's what happened. They're the general decorum just completely leaving the room. However, I steered clear of all spoilers. I went in with an open mind, and I gotta say, this movie's really, really good. I think it might be a tad overhyped, but the quality is there. Firstly, though, Robert Pattinson more than carried his load as the Batman / Bruce Wayne. I've been seeing critiques of him online already, but I think that he did everything that he was asked of, plus more. It appears as if he did his own stunts, or at least some portion of the stunts, which if that is the case, then that is just phenomenal. I'll talk more about that in a second. But I like this kind of Batman. I like the kind of Batman who doesn't really speak and analyzes everything before making a move. I love the spirit of that. Zoe Kravitz as the Catwoman was great as well. I think she might be my favorite Catwoman of all time. Against Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway, I think she more than carries her side of things, and she was one of my favorite characters in this whole thing. Someone I didn't mention in my intro was Colin Farrell as the Penguin. The Penguin is not in the movie all that much, but I gotta give Colin Farrell all the credit in the world. He went above and beyond for this role as the Penguin, because you do not see Colin Farrell. He is the Penguin. Colin Farrell, he channels his inner Robert De Niro, and not the sad Robert De Niro we got now, but Goodfellas Robert De Niro and Casino Robert De Niro. That Robert De Niro. And he's great. Jeffrey Wright is a great Commissioner Gordon. Literally, whoever cast this movie deserved a raise. The action in this movie was just great. Every action scene is done in camera. There is some CGI, but it is all handled well. And like I said, it looks like a lot of the stunts were done on the set, which if that is the case, then that is just phenomenal. My favorite scene in the movie, or one of them, it's in my top 2 or 3, is the car chase between the Penguin and the Batman. You've seen it in the trailer, so you know exactly what's going to happen, but it was helmed so well. Paul Dano is great as the Riddler. He's definitely a refreshing change from Jim Carrey hamming it up all over the place. Dano's costume was a bit weird to me. I don't know, it looks very bizarre, his costume, but I guess it's better than white unitard with green question marks. This movie is incredibly well made, and Matt Reeves did a great job with this direction. However, I don't think the movie is perfect. I do have some, not serious issues with it, but definitely things that I was not a fan of. I've seen some reviews online that this movie is too long at just under 3 hours. It's 2 hours and 56 minutes, but with the 25 minutes of trailers, you're looking at a 3.5 hour trip to the movies. You feel every inch of the 3 hours. Literally, there's a point where I was like, wow, a lot has happened. How far along are we? We're only at a half an hour. What? Though, if I had to cut anything out, I'm not sure that I would. Everything is handled well from a pacing standpoint. It just, at a certain time, you're just like, wow, we've come a long way in a short amount of time. I think the best way I could describe this pacing is like if you're running a 5K. It seems like a long while at first, and it does get a while to get going, but once you get a good pace, as long as you stay at that pace, you're going to be fine. This movie does take a bit to get going, but once it does get going, you are sucked in. Just for me personally, I had to pee about an hour in, and I actually waited until the end to do so. So, like I said, once the movie got started, it puttered along just fine. The other kind of sort of issue I had was some of the story elements, but I can't go into them without spoiling it, and I promise I am not going to do that. There's some plot points I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think over time I might like it a little more. However, there's some parts where I was just happening, and as they were happening, I was like, wow, I don't think I would have taken it in that direction, but, you know, I'm not a director. I think at the end of the day, as far as this movie goes, if you like this movie, I totally get it, and if you hate this movie, I totally get that as well. This is going to be a very divisive movie in certain circles. For me personally, I think there's a lot of good and some kind of not so good. However, the good is so good that while the problems are noticeable, the good is so good that you kind of tend to put that in the back of your mind. At least that's what I did. And so for that reason alone, I'm going to give this movie an amazing grade. This is my first amazing for the year, but with the caveat of I don't think this movie is perfect. What I will say to close out this review is this. Matt Reeves took a lot of risks, and a lot of them paid off. However, some I don't think were not as well realized. This movie is teasing a sequel, and honestly, I hope Matt Reeves gets to direct it. But what are your thoughts on The Batman if you have seen it? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and please, for the love of everything, do not spoil this movie in the comments if you have seen it. I made this entire video spoiler-free. Please do not spoil the movie in the comments if you have seen it. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.